Welcome to Updated Autopsy Report, a podcast from Yotsuben and Friends where we replay the entire Ace Attorney series with longtime fans and newcomers. I'm your host, Ben, and with me today is Dessy.
Hello.
And two good friends of ours, Tiago.
Yeah.
And Rose.
Hi.
I am the longtime fan, and this time, Dessy, Rose, and Tiago are the newcomers. We hope that through both of our perspectives as we play through the series, it'll reveal new details and provide interesting commentary for a series that's near and dear to us. And today that we have all played the second half of Case 3 of Dual Destinies, Turnabout Academy.
Why is my title of longtime fan removed just because I haven't played past this point?
Well, then,
I played the first couple.
Yeah,
well, you are still
you're,
a newcomers, though.
Yeah,
you're a longtime fan, but you're a newcomer just for this game. So you're both a longtime fan and a newcomer now. Yes.
Does that make sense?
Turnabout Academy. I'm 25 years old, and I've got three friends who are 18.
Fuck, dude.
And this is totally normal.
Should we drag him instantly?
I
didn't think we jumped right into that twist. I thought you were going to go into the plot summary.
I was just going to riff a little bit at the top, but I can go into the summary if you'd like me to.
We should.
Here's the thing about it. If we're lying about our age.
Here's the thing about it is it could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
It could have been like a 40-year-old trying to promise marriage to a 16-year-old in a circus.
It could have been a 25-year-old trying to date high schoolers.
Yeah.
Here he just wanted to be friends.
He's just a sad, lonely
and he made
man.
friendship bracelets.
Woof, woof.
I could hear it.
Yeah.
Somebody
dog yelling in the background.
Somebody went to the vet today and got vaccines and is very grumpy about it.
Damn.
You know how it is.
True. I too go to the vet for myself all the time.
Yeah. when I get vaccines and my arms are sore, I'm also grumpy. So
I used to hate getting shots when I was in high school because then I couldn't play Guitar Hero.
Oh my god, that's actually
cool,
straight
though.
up fucking real though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
I just got my COVID booster and my flu shot, and boy, are my arms tired.
Bruh.
Oh my god,
And also, I can't play Guitar Hero.
Honestly, they should
clapping
just
like a
mark
seal.
Guitar Hero.
Oh boy. All right.
Let's do the plot summary so we can understand that 25-year-old bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's remember what are we doing in this podcast again? Who am I anyways?
Athena is dejected at the trial going haywire and returns to the investigation phase, desperate to find new details. She and Apollo bump into Clavier again and piece together Clavier's statue, and then investigate the scene of the murder in the school art room. After finding some more mysterious art pieces and a slow clock, she and Apollo then track down video footage of the mock trial. In addition to placing Juniper at certain places at certain times, they also discover the source of the "You're Goner" clip, implying that the recording is actually forged evidence. Clavier promises to use his super advanced audio equipment to prove that the tape is indeed a forgery. Juniper then admits to Athena that she was snitching on her classmates, including Hugh O'Connor, who she overheard talking on the phone about bribes. Armed with these new pieces of evidence and knowledge, Athena heads into court. O'Connor is dragged onto the stand, where eventually his secret is dragged out into the open. He's 25. Oh, and his parents were bribing the school to get him good grades. But he did really want to be friends with Juniper and Robin, I guess. Thanks to Hugh's testimony, though, a certain person's alibi is eradicated, leaving Professor Means now free to be a potential suspect. Athena gets him on the stand, and the professor's demeanor changes abruptly as he attempts to school the courtroom. Thankfully, Athena is very skilled at bondage and proves that Means was the only man with the means to meaningfully murder their mentor, Professor Court. With Means locked up, everyone goes to school to watch Juniper sing with the Gaviners. Hooray!
Hooray!
And by the Gaviners,
died.
we do just mean Kristoff.
Right.
Nobody else. This is just him. We're getting the band back together. That's just you. He's Panic at the Discoing it.
I mean,
the Gaviners poster, and it's like their, band gig poster, right? And it says the Gaviners, and it's got their logo and all this fancy, graphics all over it. But then in small text underneath, it's like, it's just Clavier.
It's just my dude, man.
Quote, it's just Clavier.
So like, oh my god, the investigation
Sounds
phase,
tolerable.
huh? We start off the investigation phase by going to the detention center to talk to our good friend Juniper Woods, who literally invited Professor Means to be like, hey, can you actually take over? I don't trust my good friend Athena Sykes. And Athena's like, no, I'll find the evidence by the end of the day, and I'll prove it to you that I'm a good lawyer, and you can trust me, and I'm your friend, and I can solve this.
Mm-hmm.
And then Juniper Woods, and we should kiss. And then Juniper Woods goes, okay, I mean, I got, what the fuck else am I gonna do? So like, we have to go back to the stage to like build together two of the broken statues. One of them is Clavier's, because Clavier's there and his ego got shattered like the statue. Make a lot of jokes about that, but like he never really like breaks.
The bit went on a little too long again. It's one of those things where it's like, he's not shattered. He's sad about the death of his mentor. Why are we making this like a... Why are we doing this bit? He's got plenty of reason to be shattered. Right. Come on, everybody.
Somebody died.
Yeah.
It's just like Courtney Court will never court again. No one will have a chance to court her,
Although this segment we're investigating the stage does lead to possibly my favorite thing that's happened in this game so far, which is we look up at the art room window and Athena yells like, hey, who's up there? And Bobby pops his head out, and there's this very cute little series of like animations and scenes of him just like sticking his head out the window with like yelling. It's so fun.
It's the tiniest Bobby has looked so far.
I love him. He's great. I predicted there would be more Bobby in this case, and I'm sorely disappointed that there was not.
I think the funniest thing about Bobby in this case is the fact that like he signs off his comment with like "Injustice we trust," and then Athena responds back, "Injustice we trust." And meanwhile, Paul's like, "What the fuck is happening? Why are you two getting along?"
I love it. I wish there was like a little more lead up in between, like the antagonistic relationship versus the we're kind of friends now. Like, that's what I want, Solving mysteries is nice, but Ace Attorney is historically, to me anyway, has been so character driven.
Right.
So I'm kind of like, I want more Bobby.
Yeah.
Maybe I just like him.
You get a concentrated dose of him, right? Because you get like these extra animations for him popping out of the window and waving at you. And it's
Robert Fulbright now with maximum concentrate.
Right. Yeah. And it's very funny. And then you immediately get to go into the art room then and point out to him that the clock is slow. And he's just kind of like, oh, I guess you're right. I did miss that. And he just kind of goes, well, you know what? You're right. I'm going to go take that back to Simon and tell him all the details. And so he can change his case, presentation for tomorrow. But then, after that, then he bails. And that's the rest you get of Bobby, basically, for the rest of the case, aside from one brief appearance then in the court.
Yeah. I miss him.
Rest in peace, Bobby.
Yeah, he's definitely my favorite new character.
I forget, do we spend time? Oh, we do spend time checking the art room today, because along with the statue that was broken on the stage, there's another statue of Lady Liberty that was broken. And
Lady
then
Liberty.
Lady Liberty, right? Is that not Lady Liberty? Oh,
Lady Justice.
Lady Law.
Lady Justice. Whatever. I'm American Phil.
Law lady.
Yeah.
Wrong coast. We're in Japanifornia.
My bad. Yeah, it's broken and it got put back together in a really avant-garde way, apparently, according to the photo, that we did disprove, because it turns out it was really easy to disprove.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the evidence Blackwell got for this case was shit that like could have been disproven if somebody, I'm not gonna name who, looked into it a little bit. You know?
Just
Maybe
literally anybody.
Maybe he isn't as bright as we think, you know?
Mm.
Maybe that's what I like about this person, this hypothetical person.
This hypothetical person. We have to talk to all the people again. Both Robin and Hugh recant their confessions because they admit, yeah, we were just doing that to stall for time. You suck. Yeah. We had to do your job for you, moron.
Maybe they will be good lawyers.
Well, no, Hugh will be a good lawyer.
I'm gonna bite attack you.
Listen, it's not my fault that Robin's on the prosecutor track. Okay, I didn't.
Right.
It's objective. I just want you to know there's objectively a lawyer course and a prosecutor course, and they are two separate tracks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to table the discussion, otherwise we're never gonna get anywhere.
I'm getting everywhere I want to be. I'm glowing in this correctness.
I'm taking a hit for the team right now by not writing this wrong.
Right.
I'm making a noble sacrifice.
You work for the right agency, right anything agency. I work for the wrong anything agency.
That is true.
Right.
Right.
Wrong
No.
without a
No.
Correct.
Wrong.
Wrong?
Who's
wrong.
on first?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Get out of here. Yeah. So we talked to both Robin and Hugh again because they both recant their confessions, but then you also get, I forget exactly how, if you get any real new details from them. When you talk to Robin, that's when you do the whole video sequence, which is not a video. It's just like two still images that constitute a video for the sake of gameplay. But it works for the sake of what we're doing here, which is basically just establishing a time frame for who is where when.
Mm-hmm. It also like brings up evidence that we haven't had before, which was like the actual location of the mock trial. Because if you recall at the beginning, the whole thing about this is that the whole precedent that was set was that this was before the mock trial is when the body was put onto the stage, not during. But then through the abilities of psychoanalyzing Hugh, a morally corrupt individual, and realizing that he is incredibly full of shit, we realized that for the body was put onto the stage during the mock trial.
Right.
Which means the only person who could have done it would be people who disappeared from the mock trial, which was initially only Juniper because she was dual responsible for audio and acting.
That's ridiculous, by the way.
She ran the audio for the mock trial and also hopped onto stage once or twice to be the witness.
I was friends with theater kids.
Yeah.
All right. And Rose was a theater kid.
My theater kid hate revealed. I hung out with the tech people a lot too. A lot of my buddies were techies, and you would not catch any of those motherfuckers dead on stage.
That's insane. Like, that's low-key. The fact that she would stop the fucking trial and be like, hey everybody, I gotta switch it to almost guilty _3.mp4. I'll be right back. And everyone's like, okay, take your time.
It's almost physically impossible. Most unrealistic thing so far this case, honestly.
I don't care how deep of the future we're in. There's no fucking reason she'd be doing audio and the fucking stage.
Yeah, you think that there's no dedicated like audio kid who'd love to do that shit?
Well, they
kind
of hand wave it where they're like, oh, it's because like of the secrecy of the case that like only she could do the audio, and I'm like, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
this is bullshit.
You can tell somebody to hit a button at a specific moment without telling them why they're hitting that button.
Yeah, people like know when to like fix the audio because it's off in the back, or like turn the lights on something. It's not that hard. Well, it's hard, but it's not that hard to figure it out what you're supposed to do.
This is a minor point in the case, but this is where I started to lose it. This specific thing where like I just can't believe, like, imagine having to play judge, witness, tech guy. Like, she had to adjust the mics on fucking Robin and Hugh.
I think there was somebody else who was playing the judge.
No, she was witness and
still
judge.
Too much.
She played witness and judge because when Athena did the mock trial recreation, she also played witness and judge.
She did have to run around a lot, yeah. I think she complained about that. But
interesting.
Yeah.
What is she being punished for here? Why is she doing so many jobs?
Yeah, exactly.
Because she's a snitch. She's a snitch.
Yeah, we get that at the end of the investigation segment here. But yeah, she's snitching and reporting back on naughty children in the law school to Professor Court, because Professor Court wants to root out corruption and figure out who's been corrupting these kids. And so since she overhears Hugh talking to somebody on the phone about paying for good scores.
Yeah.
So she assumes that O'Connor is paying somebody to get his scores fudged. And so she reports about this to Professor Court.
Mm-hmm. Because the facade of Hugh O'Connor being a genius, it must be some kind of genius,
right?
Has been disproven both literally in the investigation phase and in the court phase. But we'll get into that later. Mm-hmm. We have to like collect a bunch of shit and prove it to Juniper to be like, hey, listen, I know you love your friend. He was acting sketchy as fuck, bro. Even if he didn't kill this person, he did some shit. There's something else going on, and you know it, too. And she's like, no, my friend Hugh, our friendships, it matters to me. And I'm like, I'm sitting here being like, bruh, you're about to go to prison for life. There's, girl, listen to me. Have you ever heard of a little person called Dahlia Hawthorne? She got lynched in prison. You can literally get hanged.
That's not... Those are two different things.
She can get the death sentence because apparently people just allow the death sentence.
Yeah, but a death sentence and getting lynched are two different things.
Yes, you're right. My bad. What I'm saying is this: you could receive the death sentence for what is happening at this school. Is your friendship with Hugh that important? No. What if you get Dahlia Hawthorne? It's not worth the risk, man.
She is hot,
also, it's
though.
the dark age of the law.
Right. It is the dark age of the law.
We can't forget about the dark age of the law. The characters won't let us.
Yeah. They tell you, they remind you that it's the dark age of the law. And the thing is once you use all this evidence to prove to Juniper that you know all this shit, then that's when she confesses to you that she saw Hugh with bloody hands walking down through the hallway late at night.
Bruh.
And that's
why are we spending our days in school at night?
I know. I want to actually, theater kids.
Yeah.
Also, that's when
most of this.
Yeah, that's when I knew he was innocent.
Well, right, because the game lays it on so thick right before you go into court.
It was like, I saw him with blood on his hand, and there's like an anime cutscene where he's walking around like a fucking zombie in the hall, and I'm like, all right, that man's innocent.
I think
it's the professor.
We all knew it was Professor. So, like, my initial theory was it was Professor Means, but these three students are accomplices in one way or another, right? Like, that's what my initial theory was.
Yeah.
We have to go into court. Also, we find out that Clavier Gavin's like, oh, by the way, I took that recording that says you're a goner. Yeah, that was fake. It turns out someone had a recording, and then they dubbed over it using audio from the mock trial, making it look like that. God, who's our fucking clown again? Juniper. Juniper is guilty.
So the whole
could literally be anybody.
The whole Hugh O'Connor sound-alike thing was a complete red herring and possibly a waste of me and my dad, the judge's time.
Yeah, and like, here's the thing. Also, it's just so convenient, right? that this recording is also analog so that it has the dubbing artifacts left over.
Yeah.
And if it was digital, this wouldn't happen, right?
What year is this supposed to take place again?
Right.
2077.
Exactly.
Absolute Cyberpunk 2077.
2027.
Ace Attorney.
A couple years in the future.
Dude, Ace Attorney 2077 goes crazy, actually. I would love to prosecute the Arasaka company.
Hire us to write this game, Capcom. I'm sorry we're talking
I will
all this shit about you.
I'll prosecute Arasaka Corp all the, to the fucking ground. So we go to court, right? And our first witness is Golden Boy Hugh, who possibly gets the worst reveal in the game. Like,
I mean, he
Robin
cracks
Newman,
like an egg.
He does crack immediately under pressure. It's because Blackwell's immediately like, "Hey, I'm gonna tell them your secret," and he goes, "Wait, what?" And he goes, "Yeah, I don't care. Fuck you." And then,
Hey, you took a gap year for too long, and you have a job. Like, that's his secret.
his secret is that we find out that he's actually the crane operator who helped set up the stage, and people are like, "Wait, aren't you too young to be a crane operator?" And then he goes, "Yeah, I took a gap year," and then Blackwell chimes in and he goes, "He's 25. He took 7 years." And everyone's like, "Wait, what?" And he goes, "Yeah, this is readily available information at the school records. How come nobody checked out the school records?"
Because I wasn't allowed to, Simon.
Okay.
Jesus. We're on first name terms now.
Wow, you're
But
so mad at
literally
him.
It comes down to, so why is this boy forklift certified?
Yeah, true.
How can he be forklift certified if he's this young? This doesn't make sense. And then
Luke couldn't
he's
share
25.
the truth of being forklift certified because he would have been drowning in bitches.
Luke trained forklift certified at the age of 12.
That's different. That's England.
That's true. That's England. England loves industrial child labor.
England loves becoming, like, creating child geniuses, like Franziska von Karma and...
Next try, she's German.
Yeah, but she... Alright, never mind. We
gotta lump her in with the Gavin brothers.
Imagine Franziska von Karma in the same class as Luke Tryon. Like...
Alright, everybody. Give me that fanfic stat.
I'm just imagining, like, "Alright, Luke, can you solve this puzzle?" He goes, "Yes, Professor." I was like, "Alright, Von Karma, can you solve this puzzle?" And she just whips it in half. And he's like,
Just starts beating
interesting.
the other children.
It's a unique way of problem solving. I wonder if that'll serve you in the future.
In the future. And she goes, "Yes, it will."
I think Francisca would have fucking solved Labyrinthia.
True, dead ass. She would have just whipped everybody back to normal.
Yeah, through violence.
Yeah, she just would have snapped them out of hypnosis just by beating them into sobriety.
Dude, Ernest Punching Bug, he would have been a normal guy. He would have come out a human after that.
He wouldn't be a Muppet anymore. She would have hit him so hard.
So yeah, Hugh, 25 years old, and I don't like so, like, he represents the actual nightmares I have where I dream that I have to go back to high school and I'm like, "Oh my god, I gotta hang out with fucking teenagers."
Oh god.
You know what I mean?
Listen, there's nothing wrong with taking some time and going back and finishing your degree. Like, that's okay. That's great, even. I love
Be
that.
honest about it.
It's weird that you're pretending to be 18.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, that's a little odd.
It's a little odd, especially
But
considering,
the fact that
like,
he can get away with it. Batshit.
great skin. He must have
I guess.
fantastic skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, everyone thinks that he's the cool boy genius. Like, he's the regular Jimmy Neutron over here. And then he, like, confesses, "I'm actually dumb." And everyone goes, "We all knew. We all knew, man." The judge even goes, like, it makes sense now. Yeah.
It's all clicking into place.
He's not even that dumb. He's just, like, normal intelligence.
Yeah.
At worst.
If anything,
and he just kind of tries too hard to overcompensate, right?
You know what it is? He represents the fallacy that lawyers in this game go through where they bluff their way to success. He bluffed a little too hard. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, he was just straight up lying.
I like that. I don't know if they were like smart enough to come up with that like as a connection, but
No, that's me. That's
Yeah.
me making that. That's a Tiago original.
yeah, that's why I like that you came up with it.
Thank you. So we have to break him down. He falsely confesses again, but this time he goes, "Yeah, I actually had a body double, and then I ran out into the room and I stabbed her in the tummy, and then I set up the body, and I did it using Shadow Clone Jutsu." And everyone just goes, "Well, it's either we cross-examine this or Juniper is guilty, so
Right.
I guess we'll cross-examine."
I guess you know what?
What?
It kind of worked. Like he got what he wanted. He wanted to stall. It
Yeah,
worked.
I mean,
Here,
Loki,
here's the thing,
great
though.
lawyer.
before we get to that point, though, you skipped one little thing, which is that we do talk about the location of where the murder happened, right? Whether it was in the art room or whether it was on the stage, and we have to deal with the blood splatter that was on the pottery, right?
Yeah.
And it's revealed through some back and forth that what actually happened was that Hugh opened up the script that Scuttlebutt wrote.
Miriam Scuttlebutt.
Miriam Scuttlebutt, the lady in the girl in the box, who the investigative journalist.
Oh yeah.
She wrote her own script. He opened up her script. She had it booby trapped with a spring-loaded razor blade inside the manila envelope. And that's what cut him on the hand, sprayed blood over the pottery. And that is why Juniper saw Hugh walking down the hall late at night with blood on his hands. Is because Miriam put a fucking razor blade.
Yeah, with Miriam, you can no longer sit with us. Like,
Now, here's the thing.
If you think about it, though, Loki kind of cool, though. You know what I mean? Like it reminds you of like when.
And this is done with in like 3 dialogue things. Like after they talk in 3 dialogue boxes later, we completely forget that this happened and we've moved on, right?
All
and
right.
nobody interrogates
Another
it at
crime
all.
forgotten.
And here's
It's the dark age of the law.
yeah, it is the Dark Age of Law. A fan, listener of the show, Dojo on Twitter, did mention to us as well that I saw this before, but I forgot to bring it up last time. Is that when she plays the animation of everything falling out of her box, right? You can see her laptop, and if
Yeah.
Oh,
you
I did
pause
see
it,
this. Yeah.
if
where
you
see
pause
the-
it for that half second that the laptop screen is on,
she photoshopped herself.
yeah, she photoshopped herself
Oh,
into a
bruh.
picture of the 3 friends so that she's the 4th
Holy
friend with
shit,
Hugh,
dude.
Juniper, and Robin.
okay.
She's so desperate to be part of the friend group.
Yeah.
But girl,
I-
you gotta chill.
I
You
don't-
gotta chill.
I don't
To
hang
get
out
some
with
mental.
I don't hang out with people who booby trap their homework with razor blade.
It's
Sorry.
I listen. I'm going to.
Tiago's about to reveal something big.
I'm going to take Miriam Scuttlebutt as my client right now, and I'm going to listen. She's underage. She's very mentally moldable. And this entire school's been teaching her about the Dark Age of the Law. I argue she's a victim of this school, and that her booby trap was a way of crying out.
Mhm.
I think the newspaper's a way of
Remember
crying
that
out
episode
for
of
help.
Nichijou where she drew the comic and she accidentally dropped it and she's like killing people to like hide it?
Yeah,
That's what happened.
that's what happened. I agree.
That's what happened.
Killing people
I
is bad, so
I
he's
honestly
cutting them
think-
with razor blades.
She didn't kill them in Nichijou. She just suplexed them and did a bunch of wrestling moves.
That's
Yeah.
true. That
Knocked
was
them
totally
out.
fine and normal.
No, I actually do think her coming up with like this fucking light Yagami trap is low-key insane.
That's like
Oh.
that's what like Nazis do when they put up like propaganda posters. They hide razor blades under them, so if you try and rip them down, you cut yourself.
Right.
What?
Like
Is
that's
that
literally
real?
it. Yeah, that's a real thing. Hey, if you see some kids, you see some horrible posters with some Nazi shit on them, don't just rip them off with your bare hands.
Be
Yeah,
careful,
be
I guess.
careful.
Please
Public-
be
when you
careful.
take 'em down.
And
Public
it is
statement.
a
Like to do that
crime,
shit.
and you can report it to the police if you find people booby trapping their horrible hate posters.
Okay, good to
but-
know.
Why would you want to talk to the police? Just be careful when you take those down.
Yeah, who knows?
Or,
They
yeah,
might be the
just
ones
get
that
a
put it up.
broom or some
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
You can. I
Um,
didn't say you should. I said you can.
just- You should use artist tools to scrape them off the wall.
yeah, get your own razor
Eddie-
blade and cut it down.
Get your own razor blade. Okay, so Miriam Scuttlebot booby-trapped her script because she was like, yeah, I don't want anyone else to read it. That's why I gave the professor the only, like, correct way to open it. And I'm just like, what if she forgot?
Yeah.
What if she got stabbed by a student?
Then she
Do
would
you think you're gonna
lose
last
somebody
her?
points for
accidentally-
not turning your homework in.
Bro. She's just sad. Miriam, I think you'd be great on Discord, but you gotta log off. You gotta get out of the school, man. It's not good for you.
So
Yeah.
we do the O'Connor body double testimony cross-examination thing, right?
We realized through his testimony that we established one important thing. Hugh never saw the body before the trial.
Right. He
And
just lied.
He lied about that.
He just lied. He made that.
Trying
up.
to protect Juniper again.
Grandpa Judd said straight up, if you lie one more
Oh, his body
fucking
double
time...
was Spy from TF2.
Yeah, his body double was Spy from TF2. He did straight up, like, the judge went, if you lie one more time, you're getting charged with perjury. And that will ruin his degree.
Right.
Oh my god, our cat.
We realized that the only time the body could have been dropped onto the stage was during the mock trial, because we discussed the multiple ways there is to transport the body. One of them being exactly like the script, in which it was thrown out a window onto a mat, which was then used the ball cart to bring it over to the stage. That would have taken a lot of time. Then we discussed the new method of using a crane and pulley to swing the body over to the stage, and like using a banner as a pouch. Here's the thing, I didn't quite get the pouch concept, because
basically using the flag as a pouch and sliding it down the winch from the school art room down to the stage, basically, and letting the body slide in the pouch because there was blood found inside of the one flag, right?
Yeah. Could that banner hold a person? No one brought that up, right? Like, it's an adult person. Like, I don't think a school banner could carry the weight of a corpse. And
Could
also,
it carry the weight of a marble statue?
that is something that does get brought up later, and that's also a valid point. I also don't think I'm just thinking, I have a banner in front of me, right? Like, let's say I have a blanket. I tie it into a pouch. Could that pouch hold me? I don't think so. Like, it was weird.
It's not
Cogs
any
are
more
turning.
realistic than acting in the school play while also running the audio for it.
True, but like,
And being the judge.
that one is not a matter of physics. That's just being overworked as a high schooler.
That's just getting them ready for adulthood.
The pouch thing really did, like, I was like, oh, come on. But then also, this is the same series that brought up the flying cape thing, so.
Right.
Yeah, I guess, you can nitpick where you want, but I don't know if I'd nitpick here, right? So we have to, like, I kind of forget why we settled on this had to happen during the mock trial.
I believe it's because of the timing of the recording, right? Then,
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, basically, what happens is, because of the timing and because of where Juniper shows up in the video, it seems that the only person who could have left the mock trial would have been Juniper. But thanks to Hugh's testimony, we now realize that he had the map backwards. And when he thought he was seeing an empty balcony seat that Professor Court was supposed to be in, and, her not being in that seat would have made perfect sense, that, according to his testimony, we realized he had it backwards, and actually he was testifying that the empty balcony seat belonged to Professor Means. And so now that Professor Means no longer has this alibi that he was there the whole time, we can now choose him as a potential suspect as well. And Athena is like, well, we got to get this guy onto the stage. Right before we get him on to the witness stand, we do get a little cutscene of all the three friends, like, kind of cheering each other on when Hugh was testifying, right?
Because
Without
they
their
all
friendship
have...
bracelets and necklace.
Yeah. and it's so goofy. I'm sorry. I know some people like this. It's like all these them cheering each other on, but it's just so funny to watch Hugh like unbutton his collar, and he's got this goofy red friendship bracelet around his throat.
It looks.
And then Robin, yay! Look at this.
Real talk,
rolling her shirt up.
That's a choker. Like that, my man's walking around like it's 1999 with a choker on.
Yeah.
That's like a fucking. I thought it was like a collar. I thought he was like a dog.
I was like, he's got a dog collar on. I didn't think this was gonna go this way.
Dude, Hugh O'Connor's secret is that he's into pet play makes way more sense than him being 25.
Yeah, like that would, like I don't know. It's a little goofy.
Yeah, but it's listen.
Supposed to be earnest, and
we
it just
can't
didn't
forget that
land
this is an anime game, right? Like we can't forget that this is anime.
Don't forget
that was too anime.
You think this was too anime?
Just that one little bit.
The cutscene of them being like, you can do it. You can testify the truth. Here's my bracelet. And
Yeah,
here's
it was
my
too
bracelet.
much. It was too
my
much.
nakama, my something.
You know what I realized about these teenagers, and I kind of like. I was like, I kind of like their designs. I wonder why. They're reminding me of Danganronpa kids. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, these kids kind of look like Danganronpa 1 kids.
Oh, it's a good thing we're playing a good video game.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, shit.
I am a Danganronpa fan. You're straight up correct. Oh my god! Imagine we do Danganronpa after Ace Attorney. We wouldn't. We're gonna move on from this bit.
This is the second time you brought this up.
Listen. If we're on a jigsaw trap and we have to play Danganronpa to get out of it, I don't know if all of us would make it out.
No.
Not me. So Hugh O'Connor, we got him to testify to the truth because apparently this entire time he says this. He says the entire time. I was testifying to the truth like you wanted me to, Athena. I thought this was helping.
You were not.
And like, both Apollo and Athena go, this is you helping? What?
Yeah.
What?
That bit is funny, honestly. It is earnestly funny.
Like, Hugh O'Connor honestly thought that everything he set up to this point was for the assistance of Juniper Woods. And I was like, you have buried my fucking client in weird ass shit for so long. Anyway, we fucking get him off the witness stand because we're all sick of him. We kick him out, and then we get Professor Means in here, who we all knew was the villain the second he appeared on screen. There was no doubt in any of our minds that the second this motherfucker.
Smile.
This is only like the second evil like defense attorney.
Who's the first?
What?
Kristoff.
Thank you.
Kristoff, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kristoff was evil as hell, but we knew that, like, because it was the tutorial case. It's just that the second this guy appeared on screen, I go, this guy's the killer, right? Like, we all know it.
I don't think Grossberg's particularly a good defense attorney either.
Well, that's because he's a stereotype, and I don't think he has a character.
Hey, team, can we pause for cool 5 minutes? Dog just threw up.
Okay.
Oh, okay, sure, we can do that.
Perfect
Yeah, sorry
timing.
about
I'll
that.
Be right back.
Yeah. This is where you put in, like, the wait music. Do you have wait music lined up, Ben?
I'm sure I could find something.
Just put in, like, an oven break or something. So we blow through Hugh's testimony, who apparently thinks that he's the most helpful little boy, when in reality, if given the opportunity, I would let Slyman Blackwell kill him. Right. I'm sticking the Slyman.
And then we finally get Professor Means on the stand.
Evil.
And
Mr. G.
Yes, as you said, everybody thought he was evil from the start. No surprises here. And who would not think he's evil with a face like that? With a grin like that.
It's also it's also the fact that he literally talks about his philosophy constantly, which is, I would do anything and everything to win. And I'm just like, okay, man.
The ends justify the means.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know that the ends justify the means?
I never quite forgot.
I'm so sick of hearing it.
That the ends justify the means.
The ends
Did you know?
justify the means.
What about those ends? Can you tell me about those ends?
He says what he means, and the ends justify the means is what he means. He said some fucking weird tongue twister.
Yeah.
And I was just like...
I was having trouble reading it after a while. I just sort of like glossing over it.
I you know how when you read and see a word too many times and it just becomes letters, it no longer becomes the word anymore. That's what happened with the word means by the end of this case to me, right? I was just like, that's just letters. That doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Means has no meaning to me.
I think we should have just shot him on sight. I don't know. I like, it's not the fact that like I don't want to say that he's evil just from the way he looks. It's definitely the way he acts and constantly talks about how he's like, yeah, I think when students lie and cheat, I'm so proud of them. I'm just like, what?
It's just comical, right?
Like, why do you bring that up?
It's not even like, okay, this is going to be like, I don't like have my thesis like fully like formulated in my head here. But the moral quandary of this case feels half-baked to me.
Yeah.
Right? Because it is simply Professor Means says that the ends justify the means. He, like you said, he loves it when his students lie and cheat and fabricate evidence. He thinks that's great. He says this out in the open, basically. There's no hiding it. And the dilemma is, does essentially, like the game posits to us, does Athena cave to this? Because there's a couple times where Athena's like, I don't want to let it get to that point. I'm going to do my best to do it my way and not have to do it the other way. But we never, of course, actually get to that point. And Athena's never really going to actually fake evidence. We're never really in threat of that. She's never at a point where she's like, I could take this piece of evidence and change it in some way that would benefit Juniper, right?
Mm-hmm.
We never get to that point. So it just feels like a lot of like I said, I don't quite have my thesis all the way there for this point, but it just feels like if we really wanted to make this the thing, that we needed to go a little further with it, and actually maybe really actually tempt Athena, you know. This is her first case. Is she actually going to go through with this? Is she going to succumb to the dark age of the law and present some falsified evidence? And of course, the answer is no. That never even comes up, right?
But it would be nice if she was actually like given the chance,
right? And
even
I understand
if she
that
rejects it immediately. Like,
yeah, and I understand Ace Attorney is not a game that typically has multiple choices or endings to things, right? So it's not like I'm expecting them to make a second route, you know, or anything like that. But it would have been nice for her to actually be confronted with that and have her say, no, Satan, not today, right? Or something.
Yeah, like, I think even if we were given the opportunity, I think it would just result in like a game over, right? Because I feel like what would happen is that we would blow up in our face immediately, and that would cause the judge to be like, you have fabricated evidence, you have broken the law. Yeah. You'll be signed to death. Right. But like this, I feel like her quandary for most of this case was simply just like, are my methods strong enough to overcome what his ideology is? Right. Like, it's never like she's given the opportunity to turn over to the dark side. It is simply just, does mine match up with his, and will it defeat his supposed logic, which is, if you do not lie and cheat, you will lose.
Right.
What was I about to say? I was going to say something about, I forgot about Hugh for a second. He said some shit that I thought was stupid, and it just reminded me of something.
Could have been anything.
It could have been anything. I just remember that we had to go through his real side tangent. We had to go through his mood matrix, and one of the puzzles was just like, "Oh, you weren't feeling something that time. Why is that? Why is that?" And I was just like, I wasn't aware that not feeling something would be weird too. What the fuck?
That is true. We do have to. We did skip over that, but yeah, Hugh's mood matrix. You do have to at one point realize that there's an absence of
emotion.
Feeling.
Yeah.
That's just depression. I don't understand what's wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every other dialogue.
Clearly,
box,
there's something
he's
wrong
feeling
with this
happy.
young man.
Right, but yeah, he feels happy every
He's
single boss
25 and
except for the one
depressed.
where he
How's that
doesn't.
not the most normal character in the game so far?
I feel like just like the moment of like, you weren't happy during this thing, and I was just like, yeah, can't I be neutral? Does everything have to be one of these 4 fucking emotions? Anyway, I'm glad I got that out of my system.
Gamify your emotions.
Gamify your emotions. Roll for happiness. So going back to Ends means shit with Athena. So like there's a point where like we had to like eventually break through his alibi, which he says, "No, I was totally there," and then it was like, "No, you weren't. There was a recording." And he goes, "Well, I had to pre-record it because Juniper Woods told me to, otherwise she'd blackmail me." I was so proud of her, and we all just go, "Wait, huh? What? What do you mean?" And she goes, "Yeah, of course. She killed the person, and then told me to assist her. Otherwise, I'd be an accomplice. I'm so proud of her for being a cutthroat." And it's like, have you met her? She's her, you know?
Yeah.
Are you
She's a
sure?
grass type trainer.
Are we talking about the same person? This guy would
the
be
other-
a rock type gym trainer.
Yeah, and the other like little bit of this is also part of the reason why he had to record it is because he also had to help finish up the Phoenix Wright statue because Robin couldn't finish it in time the other night, right?
Average high schooler moment, just not able to finish their homework. That's fine.
Yeah, and so he was like, "Well, I would be able to do it," and of course, how perfect is that we have a body shaped object that only Professor Means had worked on that we have not seen hide nor hair of course, for the rest of the case.
Insane.
Yeah. So, now the other thing about Professor Means that we haven't talked about yet is that at the very least, despite him being a little bit annoying with his constant ends justify the means shtick, his animations are sick as hell.
Yeah.
He puts his hair up into a mohawk. He
does.
takes his hands and goes whoosh, and pushes his hair straight up into a mohawk.
He's ready for war.
He gets super angry. Yeah, very Roman centurion looking vibes now, going from his Greek statue to like Roman centurion. And then he pulls an entire chalkboard behind him, pulls out a piece of chalk and starts writing actual words out and sentences as part of his testimony for all of his animations. So that's very, very fun and allows for some good like comedic bits as he's testifying.
So like when he pulls out the mohawk, what I thought he was doing was, because like this guy looks like a Greek statue, right? I thought what he was doing is that he was
not like the good kind though.
Yeah, not like the good kind, but like he's literally gray. His hair is
right,
curled
like the
up,
imagined.
Yeah,
the way that we see Greek statues now, right? In that
Yeah,
they
but if
are.
you say, "Oh, you look like a Greek statue," like that means like, "Oh, you're totally like shredded." Zero
no, this guy's
body
not
fat.
shredded, and that's fine.
He
I mean
looks
that
like the like Greek ideal of like the philosopher king, you know?
Right.
Exactly. So
I mean,
like,
yeah, this is part of the reason why his name's Aristotle, right?
Yeah.
so when he went into the mohawk form, what I thought he was doing was becoming like a Roman legionnaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So like he develops this like cutthroat personality and attitude. He starts whipping. He did take roll call during court, and we all allowed him to do that.
And
Yeah.
Simon didn't answer. I'm
He's a
getting
delinquent.
endeared to Simon this case. It's starting to happen.
Low key, this is the cutest Simon has ever been.
He's and like they at one point they play like Professor Mean's speech or something. Oh no, it's when you try to like mood matrix Hugh's like mental breakdown.
Yeah.
And Simon's literally like, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave. Bobby and I
straight
are gonna go
leaves
for a
out.
walk. Like
Hit
we're
the
gonna go get
bricks."
coffee."
You
Yeah.
can just walk out.
He objectively cannot just walk out.
I know, but he
He has
does.
to take Bobby with him. So like they
He
just
and
like go
Bobby
get
for a
coffee.
walk. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it
Oh my
is,
God.
and he's literally gone. He's not there. You do a couple wide shots, and you see that
Yeah.
he's just not there in the courtroom.
Oh, made me
Yeah,
laugh.
it's very funny.
It is
And yeah,
legitimately
so
the
him being
funniest part.
Yeah, and then him being a bit of a stubborn
He's
student,
a rebel, you know?
right? Yeah, when Means tries to take roll call and
Yeah.
he just refuses to answer, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to mark you absent," and he's like, "I don't give a fuck."
I don't
Yeah,
know,
like I'm
fuck you.
getting it. I'm starting to pick up on
I-
the Simon.
I think it's very interesting because, like, last case, we had a very small tinge of Simon turning and, like, becoming helpful to us. And in this case, it's way more obvious, because, like, he tends to leave the second his client could potentially be a culprit, he goes, all right, fucking, what do you do now? Not client, but, like, witness. He goes, all right, witness, what now, idiot? And he goes, what do you mean, what now? Aren't you helping? He's like, no, fuck you. Figure it out.
My job is to send somebody to prison, and I don't really care who.
I need friends in the clink. I'm running.
And you're not a good person.
I'm running a D&D 2, and I need a thief.
Please, I'm so lonely in jail.
A thief I can trust.
Dogan doesn't want to play. He keeps throwing away the dice.
He keeps eating the dice.
He's blind. How would he play D&D? We need special, like, Braille character sheets.
Yeah, get us some Braille character sheets.
Yeah.
I bet he'd play if you accommodated him.
The only other guy that wants to play D&D is that one salesman who turned into a dog groomer, and we hate him.
Bobby
Everyone
would play
hates-
D&D, but he would just play himself. That guy is just himself in every campaign.
He'd be a paladin. He'd just be a
Wait, are
paladin.
you talking about Saw It?
Yeah, Frank saw it.
Frank saw it,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah, the original killer,
Yeah.
the first killer.
The
Yeah,
first killer.
The proto-killer.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. So means we start to break down his conversation, his argument. He also goes like, I did this so I could help Juniper, and you're betraying her by accusing me. And then immediately goes, Juniper, that she-witch did it. She's evil.
Yeah.
She's evil incarnate. She's Dahlia Hawthorne too.
Nothing's worse than a
Right.
teenage girl.
Nothing's worse
I
than
know,
a teenage
yeah,
girl.
Apparently,
And everyone goes, dude, chill. I like that he writes his actual fucking points onto the chalkboard. I was like, ooh, I can read. And then
Finally, I can understand.
I can now understand his points a lot more clearly when he put it on the board. I was taking notes. I do like his, like, boss change mode a lot more than his average mode, because his average mode is, like, annoying. He's just an annoying guy. I don't know. I don't like him.
It's a good thing we sent him to prison forever.
To the clink.
yep.
The
He was
clank.
willing to give up 30% of his salary.
You know who else is in the clink? Is that son of a bitch from the last course. What's his name? The French guy? Florence?
Florent LaBelle.
Florent LaBelle, he's in the clink too.
Yeah.
He's playing D&D, he's playing a wizard.
Yeah.
Okay, if you think so.
Well, bard, my bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a bard, dude.
He's got the connections.
Dude, I would
So-
love to see Simon Blackwell DM a D&D game. I
It would
apologize
suck.
for keep interrupting you.
It would
But
suck,
I think
though.
It would be an incredible, like, he would try to make Seven Samurai into a D&D campaign.
No
Again.
way. No one's ever done that before.
What do you mean? Who's done it?
I've literally been... Okay, we cannot legislate this right now, but I've literally been in a campaign that was Seven Samurai in D&D.
A lot. Dude, that's crazy. Do you think we can make it in another movie?
Yeah.
An
All right.
original movie.
So Means, what he does is he has one final, like, defense, right? After you start breaking through all of his different bits, is that he's basically like, well, where was the body all this time? Nobody saw the body. If the body, if it had happened, earlier, like we're asserting, then where was the body hidden all this time before it showed up on the stage? And this, like, sends Athena into, like I don't know what you want to call it, like
Brain
a
blast mode?
catatonic state.
A
Well,
panic
catatonic
attack.
state.
Oh,
She has
her
a
panic
panic
attack.
first, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she kind of freezes.
She's
We
like, I don't
get
have
her-
any way to say where it was.
Her anime pupils.
Whereas I'm like, I have like
disappear.
5 ideas.
And,
Widget was pure black.
she clutches her, shoulders kind of thing. We get unique
Tells herself to
animations for
breathe.
this. And yeah, she's trying to do breathing exercises and that kind of thing. And some traumatic incident from her past is haunting her still. What could it be?
Dead
And
parents.
everybody then
She lost. the
cheers her
court
on
case.
and says, "Don't worry, Athena. I know you can do this. You can do this.
Yes,
you
you
can
helped us.
prove it."
2 high school
Yeah, you-
girls and a 25-year-old man with an anxiety disorder.
Yeah, you've helped all of us. We know you can do it too. And then we get the Athena brain blast. Yeah.
Including, interestingly enough, Blackwell tries to cheer her up. He's all like, "Oh, somebody's counting on you," or something.
What could that mean?
He's like, "Pick up your sword, samurai. We've got a city to burn."
Yeah. So this just furthers my theory that he's in prison for killing her parents.
100%. I just think that if that is the case, then her being like kind of jokey with him is even weirder if you think about it.
Yeah, but like.
Obviously the story is written in a way that 100% he's gonna be the one who killed Athena's parents, or guilty of doing so in the eyes of the law. I don't think he actually did it. I already think he's innocent.
Yeah, I'm gonna save his ass.
We're gonna save his ass. It would be actually insane if he did actually do it, and that we have to find out the reason that he did it. I think that would be way more interesting, but alas, this is Ace Attorney, so
Yeah.
We'll never figure out what those black
you
psyche
usually
locks were.
Yeah, you usually know whether your prosecutor is like an evil prosecutor who needs to be put down, or a prosecutor who will kind of eventually be your friend in a way, right?
Yeah. The only
those are your two tracks for prosecutors.
The only one who towed the line was Godot, and that's because he was sick as fuck.
He was an interesting dude.
He was an interesting.
There were too many Godot sexism moments, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Godot
murder.
never drank his respect women juice.
He was drinking coffee. It was disrespect women juice.
Oh shit! Do I gotta quit?
Yeah, I moved to T Rose.
It's a warning.
You will never take me alive.
Rose confirmed rather disrespect women than move to T.
You guys don't understand.
All right. So, real quick, I just think I want to talk about like the moment where like the friends are all like, "We're cheering you on, hey, yippee!"
Okay.
I don't think it was good. I didn't think that was a good moment. Did y'all?
I
wish it was better.
I wish it was better because I have no attachment to these fucks.
I wanted it to be like Apollo, which it was.
Yeah.
Like, he was there and he said stuff, and I didn't mind Simon doing it because they're like trying to integrate him in. It's not as like perfect and seamless as the integration of Edgeworth into the first game.
Yeah.
But I don't think that is ever going to happen again. I think that was too good. So
I just don't think that like
the bar's too high.
I don't think
I'm like, why are these kids here?
Yeah, these three witnesses aren't the ones that I'm going to invite into my JRPG party to save the world, right? Like,
yeah,
these
like
are just
maybe like Trucy and Phoenix in the gallery cheering or something.
Trucy, Phoenix, Apollo, and then Blackwell at the end to seal the deal. That would have been the four people I would have expected to even cheer me on. Even the fucking that fucking unlucky girl from the previous case. What's her fucking name? Jinxie. The cat.
Maybe the judge out of like fatherly concern I would accept.
I would have been fine with Juniper obviously being involved because obviously we're trying to set her up as like a longtime friend of Athena. But yes, I feel like at this moment, instead of having like a bunch of essentially like your usual anime power-up moment, which is like all your friends say one line to amp you up. If we really wanted this to hit, I think the most earnest thing that you could have done is have Apollo like turn to Athena and have a more in-depth conversation with her, right?
Yeah, like it would have been
just one line. Like have him
once
go,
again,
okay,
things
Athena.
were stolen from Apollo.
Right, yeah, like Athena, you're doing okay,
Apollo
right?
trilogy.
You're doing well. Keep breathing. You're good. You've got this. You've come this far. You're gonna be okay. Reevaluate everything. Revisualize everything.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then lead into it that way. But yeah, instead we have like several people who the player have spent this whole case with them. But yeah, as far as them cheering Athena on, it's like, hang on, Hugh, why are you cheering her on?
Hugh!
You've been like annoying the whole time, and also you've been lying most of the case.
And
Hugh.
I don't like you very much.
You straight up, we're gonna sue you for fraud after this. Why are you cheering me on? Like you're
Right.
going to jail after this for other reasons. I just think it was so strange that like Robin I could see, right? Like, cause I actually do think she's Juniper friends. It was just like Hugh specifically that I was just like, all right, dude, shut up. And the fact that like Apollo was just like, you're doing okay, and she goes, no, I'm not, and he goes, fair point. And then like,
I mean,
I
I've been on
would've-
both ends of that conversation. That's realistic.
true, yeah,
Right.
but like it's not an anime moment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Ace Attorney, and I feel like they threw a fucking Boruto moment at me, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Friendship.
Yeah. Anyway, we shoot means with a laser, with the guilty laser, with our brain blast
Basically.
power. We psycho attack him.
Well, yeah, and then we have kind of an extended sequence in which Athena gets herself bundled up in the middle of the courtroom to demonstrate how a dead body could have been positioned to look like the Phoenix Wright bust that was positioned on stage when it's draped in a cloth.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a bondage joke out of it.
Hi.
And
Did you think it was funny?
No.
Rose, did you think it
Also-
was funny?
Well, it did kind of make me laugh, but I don't know if it was for the reasons they were hoping. But
I
I was just like, ha, you know what? Fine, whatever.
I think because we have to prove, because Means is like, there's no way the body was on stage, and then we go, I think the very obvious route that I thought of was, she was actually underneath the Phoenix Wright statue, and that you covered her with plaster to make her look like a statue. It's that easy. But it turns out to be the case that he didn't even do that. He just strung her up. Like,
yeah, that's why her wrists were tied, right?
I just thought we were pulling the whole gelato statue thing again, remember? Remember that whole funny thing from Investigations 2 when there was a gelato statue?
Yeah.
Right.
And then you said you would eat it even though there was a dead body in it.
I would not eat the parts that touch the dead body. I'd eat the parts around those parts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I understand. I understand.
Hmm.
But yes, and then
Understands but doesn't share his opinion.
the crux of it ends up being there's no way that the body could have positioned in such a way to show Phoenix Wright's iconic point. And it's like, well, what if Means used his staff? And that makes the point.
We did like an in-between step where we used the arrow to make it look like it was a point, and someone goes, that's too short, and I'm like looking at it, and I go, I don't know, man, that's kind of like the length of an arm. I don't think it's that short.
I thought
I
it
think
was
it's-
good enough.
I think it's quite average size, in fact. I didn't think it was that short.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with average.
I think it was quite an average. I think that was a normal size.
Yeah.
But we gotta use his killer weapon, his staff that he carries around with him literally all of the time.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, how could you prove that I used that staff? And Athena's like, what if we tested it for blood? And he's like, oh, fuck, you got me. And then it's over. That's it.
He's
Kind of a
he's
weird one. I did like the bit at the end where they finally construct the like draped statue, and everyone in the crowd is like, "Wow, it's Phoenix Wright!"
It's him!
Like there is like the instant change. Like that was the part that made
Yeah.
it slightly more worth it for me. Like that bit. Again,
I-
went on for a little too long. Not that the joke was bad, just that they dragged it out.
I
With
think
just
if
too many text boxes.
we had a single shot of like the back of Apollo's head looking at like Athena in the middle, and then Simon Blackwell looking on, that would have been instantly more funny if it was just a single snapshot. But like the fact that we had to like come up with 3 different statue variations in order to like work through the logic, especially when like the entire point of working through the logic was just to establish that like, yeah, it was the staff that did it. But I was just like, do we really need to establish the staff was? I mean, I feel like it's not that hard to comprehend. He wrapped up the statue.
He's a suspect. Like, confiscate all his belongings and test them for blood.
Right.
Bobby wouldn't do that though because he didn't even test the fucking blood in the art room.
Bobby's so fucking.
Yeah.
Honestly, love me a fail boy.
Fail like bright.
Yeah, fail bright. More like fail bright.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we do get the one reverse shot of the back of Apollo's head as he looks on, right? At Athena. And that one shot, when we get it the first time, I did laugh really hard, right?
Yeah.
That shot was very funny. And it's because it's just kind of like it emphasized. Listen, wide shots are funny, guys.
We should use them more often. Yeah.
Yeah, you do them more often. Like, I know Ace Attorney is a game that was constructed so that the camera has to be close up. But listen, if you can pull off a wide shot occasionally, do it. It's funny. But yeah, so the one time they do it, I'm like, okay, that was pretty good. But yeah, I just wish it was a little snappier for this final bit. And here's the thing, for all this talk of means, we care about the means and how he did it. Nobody cares about motive until, again, after everything's wrapped up. And then Blackwell, again, just like last case, goes, oh yeah, by the way, here's the motive.
Yeah.
Which I think we could have surmised a motive anyway, because Means was positioned in opposition to Court so clearly in their philosophy. But it is funny that like not once does anybody go, so what about means, opportunity, and motive, right?
Yeah.
If we would have been the ones to bring that shit up.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess he didn't want to because he was trying to
Somebody
avoid...
else would have brought that up.
I think
it would have been a huge deal.
Because there's a really obvious thought pattern, right? Which is like, all right, Hugh is part of the lawyer course. His parents, not him, his parents have been paying for good grades. He didn't know about this.
Right.
Who would his parents pay? The person in charge of the lawyer course. Who's in charge of the lawyer course? Mr. Means. But like,
it all checks out.
But that never gets brought up, is the fact that like no one has that thought line of just like, oh yeah, Hugh was essentially being bribed through school. Who was he bribing? And people are like, oh, it was Courtney because she had it in her notebook. And it's like, what? Really? It's Courtney, the person who's not in charge of Hugh? How would she change the grades? Literally how, though?
Yeah. And so, yeah, I just, again, it's happened twice now in a row, and it's just stuck out to me, right? That the motive has been essentially dropped in after the fact, just as a dialogue box or 3 from Blackwell.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, again, sometimes the motive it has not always been like that you have to establish a motive in Ace Attorney. Like, I get it, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just interesting that it has happened back to back here twice where Blackwell just goes, oh, by the way, here was the reason why this all happened. And I go, okay. I mean, yeah, I kind of figured that all makes sense to me, but it's just, it would be interesting to have that maybe come up a little sooner because, yeah, I think that maybe getting into the whole bribery thing in the actual court case and maybe having evidence perhaps surrounding that might have made things a little bit more compelling instead of this weird statue positioning puzzle at the end, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I feel like it should have been, it should have been part of the court case because it's like, what the fuck is Juniper Wood's motive for killing Court? Like, I feel like motive was actually never brought up.
They did bring it up at one point. They were like, oh, she decided to change because Juniper tries to change the case to favor the prosecution because she's afraid that he was going to confess his love for her because she sees the tabloid and she doesn't want that. And so she tries to change it so that Robin will win. And Professor Court is like, nope. And so that was like supposedly the motive, which is not a motive to kill at all.
No.
Right.
We're supposed to expect that this is like a cutthroat school, and that like, yeah, it's so high pressure that they would kill even to get their grades.
I literally think that like only Miriam and Hugh are doing that.
Yeah, no,
like everyone else is normal.
You think every other student is normal, and it's just these two who are like coming up with like light Yagami traps and like
they're like cutting each other with like razor blade traps. Like absolutely not.
Everyone else is just like.
Just saw a post today on Twitter where somebody put Death Note, but they got rid of all the internal monologues. So there's just them sitting there dead silent.
That's literally
staring
them,
at each other, just
Perfect.
glaring the whole time.
It was fucking hilarious.
We got Mean's breakdown, which is when he went sicko mode, he got a chalkboard behind him, and then Athena goes, "All right, everybody, what do you think his sentence should be?" And then he starts writing down ideas on the chalkboard, which is like bathroom duty, and then no one liked that, so they threw him with paper balls at him like he was a teacher, and then he was like, "Oh, I resign," and they threw more, and then he goes, "I pay," and then they threw more, and then he can't bring himself to write the guilty verdict because he doesn't want that. So he writes the G, and then he falls backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, man.
Again,
he broke his teeth. He broke his teeth. He clenched his teeth so hard. Broke them. Oh my god.
Very cartoonish.
There is a dentist in the Clank. There's a surgeon in the Clank. We don't know about a dentist.
Yeah. I will say the one
I don't
animation.
believe anything Blackwell is saying.
I believe it wholeheartedly.
The one animation that I do like is when Blackwell sends Taka the hawk after him briefly, and as the hawk like swoops by, the chalkboard swings and hits Means in the back of the head as it kind of spins, and that's good. That's a good.
Yeah, it's very good. After we get Means arrested and we get the not guilty verdict, we find out that the school has extended the school festival for an extra day in honor of Professor Court, who had died, who had worked so hard to make this happen. So,
hey kids, I know one of your favorite professors just died yesterday, but anyway, do you want to keep having the school festival anyway?
No, we don't.
It's so funny.
While
it's just an excuse to have this like celebration at the end, right?
Yeah, with like Juniper dressed up like Lamore, Apollo's mom, but he doesn't know that, and Clavier Gavin with the guitar him just doing a sick guitar solo as my guitar gently weeps as like a high schooler sings over it.
Yeah.
They start
to do the guitar serenade, that song.
Yeah.
Start to do that song. And it's just like, how is nobody bringing this up still, that it's that song again?
They can't legally bring up Apollo Justice despite this being Apollo Justice.
We're just going to watch that video another 3 times.
Dude, that CGI video, let's go. And then we find out that they ran the mock trial again, and that Hugh won. Hugh won through legitimate means, through telling the truth, and that Robin was like, gee willikers, I lost. And then...
Oh, and I'm giving up on my dream of art, and I'm going to become a prosecutor anyways. And I'm like, okay.
She wants to be the type of prosecutor who can bring an artistry to the court, who can think abstractly about the case. They did not say this in the game. This was my justification for it.
I mean, that would have been better than whatever they said. Probably.
Straight up.
It is.
It frustrates me when they have like themed characters and then they have them be like, "Oh, also I'm a lawyer." And it's like, all right, can you bring your ideology into the courtroom, right? Like, Godot had the coffee. Godot had the coffee thing. He talked about that shit constantly. He had a great bit.
Francisca was like...
You gotta have a bit in Ace Attorney world.
Yeah.
You gotta have a bit.
Francisca had a whip and she was angry. Miles hated women. Like...
Miles hated women!
Everybody's got a thing.
We have, fucking... Simon Blackwell's a weeaboo. It's fine. You can, like...
he's okay.
You just gotta have a bit. So yeah, be the art prosecutor. It's fine.
Rose, that's
a
position for you.
Perhaps it is. Perhaps it is.
Paint the witness in a new light, you know? I'm good
The
at
pun
this.
potential.
It's so
Yeah.
God.
Off the charts.
But no, she's just doing this shit to make her.
God.
She's just doing this shit to make her parents happy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is like kind of odd, right? Where we leave these three kids, where it's like we got to give them the most optimistic ending possible, but the most optimistic ending for them is that they are still kind of trapped in this shitty system, right?
They're changing it though. They vow to change it.
Of course. Here's the thing. Yeah, Ace Attorney. Once Aristotle Means is out, we've removed the bad apple, guys. Things are going to be better from here on out. And by golly, we're going to change the system from the inside. And it's just like,
A week
yes,
later.
no, exactly. I understand this type of liberalism.
Everyone always
it
forgets
makes
the
sense.
rest of the
Sure.
the rest of the saying, which is the one bad apple spoils the bunch. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. This horribly corrupt school that every time we look at it from the outside, the fucking red moon from Breath of the Wild appears over top of it. An ominous, rumbling starts playing whenever you see it. But, now that we got rid of means, it's fine. It's going to be fine. All those kids are going to be fine. I'm sure the legal system will be okay.
Yeah, 'cause these ones are so normal.
He confesses that he just wants to be friends with Juniper, which, like, thank fucking God, dude.
Thank you, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
We all agree that this was the best outcome for Hugh, which is like a little less than okay.
Yeah,
Like-
it's just kind of like, this is weird and you probably need help, but like you can get out of this, buddy. It's gonna be okay. Maybe you can still be friends with these girls sometime in the future. Just like, get help, man.
Here's my thing. I'm 25. I haven't completed high school. I get my GED and then I go to law school, right? Like that's the path I would take instead of going back to high school.
Yeah, just take the bar, like on your spare time, like Phoenix, right?
Yeah, become like Saul
Yeah.
Goodman. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I didn't think he needed to go back to Themis Legal Academy, but whatever,
I mean,
man.
It seems like that's what his parents wanted.
His parents are babying an adult man.
Yeah.
Like they're bribing his grip.
That's the most realistic thing in this case.
True, deadass, yeah. So we the players know that the next thing to occur to our young plucky protagonists is that Apollo is gonna get bombed.
Right.
And become punished Venom Apollo. Also, Apollo goes on to say and be like, wow, they remind me of my friend. And and Athena's like, really? You have a best friend? Who is it? And he goes, I'll show you one day. And then
This best friend I've never mentioned before.
is it not
He's
true?
so important to me.
Is it not true?
I've got a friend who's so important to me, and I care about him so
Yeah,
much.
it's a dude
but
who's
you've never seen him before.
yeah.
He goes to school
Yep.
out of state. You want to see him.
Mhm.
Why is it not Clavio Gavin? Who
That's-
is this man?
That's the guy he's just dating. That's a different guy.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
You can have a boyfriend and a best friend. Those can be
It's
separate
true.
things.
I honestly
But
don't
if
think
you find a boyfriend who is also your best friend, then you can marry your best friend.
Yeah.
Also true.
I just think that we, the player, have never seen Apollo Justice outside of either a book, learning law, or investigating. This man lives, breathes, and dies the court.
I'd be
fuck-
excited to see some of Apollo's like outside hobbies. I'm hoping that it'll be good.
It's funny because
I want to see his life.
You
It's
want?
probably still law.
All right. So what is what do you think Apollo does in his free time?
practices screaming.
Yeah.
He did say that. Do you think he's friends with like a yodeler,
Voice teacher maybe.
voice teacher?
Yeah.
It's gotta be vocals, right? He's very into
Or-
vocals.
You know what? Maybe it's just another magician.
Self-help guru.
Yeah, here's a question, right? Because everybody in Ace Attorney is like a character, right?
Mhm.
They're like, oh, this person is a magician. Like Trucy's a magician, right? or Clavier is a rocker. He's a rock star, right? All these characters have to have like a big like profession that defines them as a character.
Yeah.
So, Apollo's secret best friend, who we have not seen yet, take a guess. What's their profession? What's their defining thing that makes their character them? I want to hear your predictions now. Who is Apollo best friends with? Is he best friends with a zookeeper, a yodeler, like you said? Like who are they?
I was thinking yodeler because of the Courts of Steel, but I'm gonna go the opposite direction. A mime.
Literally the
Okay,
opposite.
mime.
I
direction.
like it. I like it.
Okay.
Literally the
All right.
opposite.
Okay, I'm
Dessy?
I don't know if I should guess because I do know a little bit about the.
Do you know the
I
best
know a little
friend?
bit about it because I remember seeing this stuff when you played it the first time.
Do you know the
Okay, well-
profession?
No, but I know what it's related to.
Okay, then you can't guess.
all right.
That's
It's
influence.
back to Rose and Tiago
All
prediction
right,
time.
all right.
Earlier, I jokingly said magician. I'm trying to decide if I want to change my thing, because like it would be magician, but also maybe magician's overdone, and by maybe I mean definitely.
I like magicians. They're cool.
Oh man, Tiago said mime. Mime is really good.
So
Trying
here's
to
my
think of
thing.
something totally unrelated.
So Phoenix Wright's best friend is Larry Butts, who is like,
Everything.
he likes girls and he's a bit of an artist. He's an artiste. That's his thing, right?
Yeah.
He's a pickup artist. He literally is an artist and he picks up women.
He's just bad at it.
He's bad. He's so bad at it. But that's his thing, right?
Yeah.
Every artist is bad at art when they start.
Miles's best friend is Phoenix, and Phoenix is a lawyer.
Miles doesn't have a lot of friends. Miles' best friend is probably Gumshoe.
And he's a
that
detective.
is- yeah.
A poor detective.
Whoop.
Apollo's best friend.
Is it Emma Skye? We haven't seen Emma yet.
No, this is going to be a new character for sure.
You think this is a new character?
This is going to be an out of left field random guy.
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka.
A chocolatier.
Chocolatier.
Okay.
We've already had chefs. I'm trying to think
No.
of like professions we haven't had yet.
That's a good ass point, actually. It has to be a profession we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, we haven't done mime yet.
Mine might be the closest one. All right.
All right.
Podcaster.
Podcaster.
Podcaster. Yeah.
When was this made?
Um,
2017?
It would be like a radio host for the Eastern,
Yeah.
because they don't have
Yeah.
podcasters.
Or like
yet.
maybe
But,
like
yeah.
a social media influencer, but like the social media is never named.
Yeah, Twitch streamer.
Yeah, Twitch streamer.
Which
Okay.
a gamer.
Yeah,
You think
I'm gonna
Apollo?
go.
Twitch streamer, that implies that he might have a skin in Fortnite.
True.
Oh,
Um,
Jesus. This sucks. I don't know. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with a dog catcher. That's a profession we haven't had yet.
Dog catcher.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, yeah.
We'll see how close everybody is next time then.
I hope there's a totally different character who's not that, who is a dog catcher.
Oh wait,
in the next
what do they
game.
call
Yeah.
what do they call those people who train hawks? Like a hawker?
Oh, a falconer.
Falconer, yeah.
Falconeer,
Yeah,
yeah.
falconer. Fuck it, falconer.
Yeah.
We're just
Any of
listing
those
Pokemon
three
trainer
things.
types at this point.
Yeah.
Listen, I was trying so hard to think of something there hasn't been, and like everything I was coming up with, I was like, oh no,
No,
we've had
There's
that.
one of those.
Oh,
Wait,
we've
I
had
was
there's
thinking-
one of those.
Oh,
I
we've
was
had
thinking
chef. Oh, we've
we've
had
definitely
computer
had chef.
programmer. You know.
Oh, we did have a computer
Alright.
programmer.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a gamer
Well,
yet.
we'll have to see then. Yeah.
I-
Well, then next time we'll see how things shake out and how many predictions come true.
It's just
None.
Mr.
You can
Beast.
follow the show on Twitter at Ace Attorney Pod, on co-host /Ace Attorney, or our website, updatedautopsy.report, which has all of our links to everything that we do. You can watch all of our Let's Plays of Dessy and I playing through the game at youtube.com/@Yotseben. And you can follow me on pretty much all social media at Yotseben. Dessy, where can people find you?
look up to the sky.
Okay. Tiago?
You can find me at Tiago S. Dutra on various social media. If you look up at Tiago S. Dutra on Twitter, you'll find my link tree. It's got all my other shit.
And Rose?
You can find me at Rose Nonsense on Tumblr and sometimes co-host and maybe eventually Blue Sky. Listen, I'm working on it.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. We hope that you will rate on and review us on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform. Next time, we will be playing Dual Destinies Case 4, The Cosmic Turnabout.
Oh shit!
Next
Is that
time.
an astronomer?
Astronomy! Fuck! Shit! God, we're stupid!
Bye!
Bye.
Oh shit, Tiago!
Immediately. Is anyone up? Are we waiting?
I'm waiting for Des.
We're waiting on Jenny.
Des. It's Des. 1 week since he looked at me.
Mhm.
I don't know the rest of the lyrics, do you?
The boom anime babes that make me think the wrong thing.
Dude, they do make me think the wrong thing.
I could hear Jenny laughing from the other side of the house when I did that.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's beautiful, actually.
Yeah, that's how you know we're made for each other.
It made me do the wrong thing.
Oh, man.
What?
Yep.
Alright.
The boom anime babes that make me think the wrong thing. Mystery of taking off my shirt.
How long have you had this on your fucking soundboard?
Oh, since the start.
Is this the start? Is that going to show up on the recording?
Yeah.
Good shit.
If I use my soundboard, it will show up in the recording. It's just a little on the quiet side, so
Yeah.
usually I don't do it because it is.
It's
Kind
too
of- it would-
quiet.
Yeah, it's a little too quiet. Because I've turned them all down because I don't want to blow out my friends' ears when we're in Discord. You know.
It can
I
get quite
pre-
noisy.
I appreciate your restraint.